Oh, there we go. Nope.
Well, I think I did it when you did it. There you go.
Hi, everyone. How are you today? Nice to
Hey,
see you.
everybody. I know I like my little, we have our robot machines with us, and our robots are not showing up, and I'm very bummed. Because,
Mercury in retrograde. It will
yeah.
ruin your life and everything you touch.
And
It's the
everything
worst
you
thing that's
touch.
ever happened to anyone with a computer.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you're just fucked.
Oh my
It's
God. Oh my
true.
God. Oh
It's
my
true.
God.
You know
Oh
it's
my
true.
God. I know. I'm so like I have all the cameras everywhere. Well, we wanted to show off how cool we are with all the cameras, and unfortunately, for whatever reason, our robot camera is not showing both of us.
But I
So
do now
it's
have one, and
super
I'm
sad.
very proud of myself. So there's that.
I know you do have a robot camera, and it's
Me too.
very nice. And
He's very nice.
he's very nice in the robot camera.
He's very nice. Here, how's that? Is that cute or
I'm
terrible?
so
That's not bad, actually.
bummed. So it is so cute, though. I really just want to show off my little camera because it's like
I
it's the
know.
cutest little thing. Look at this. La
I
la
know.
la. Look at the little. How you do it? Hi, baby. Hi, little baby camera. Oh my gosh, you have your little baby camera too. It's look at how cute it's like. You just want to like
It's so
rub it on the top of the head.
teeny.
He's a baby.
I love it. And it's the best picture I've ever seen, ever.
It's so cute. Also, did you know? Well, now what's really cool is that you can literally record yourself in that software. So you can record yourself in the software, which is super easy to do. And taking screenshots of your face is so easy with that app. So, for those of you
Mhm.
who don't know what the heck we're talking about, we are talking about our little cameras. They're called Insta360 Link. Insta360 Link, because the
Ye-
Insta360 company has a bunch of robot cameras, AI inspired cameras. But the software that they have is really great because you can really, in the software itself, there's a little screenshot area, and you can tap the little like scissors that it looks like. Do you see those little scissors, Jess? And it can take a quickie screenshot. It is so fun and so easy to take.
I think I
I
did it by
love it.
accident when I was setting it up. So yeah, I figured it out by
Yeah,
accident.
it's so easy. And anyway, it switches around. We wish you could see it, but it's not working. So, oh well. That's a scary face, Jess.
No,
Don't do
it's
that.
not.
Somebody can like take a literally a screenshot of that, and
Oh, you're right. Please don't
it
do
is
that.
a very scary face. Yes.
Please don't do that.
Okay. So we have stuff that we did not discuss in terms of the show notes, that we have some things that we are covering today.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I didn't before we started here, if there's something specific you want to talk about as it pertains to She Podcast Live, do you want to add it? And then when we start to talk about it, we can talk about it um right at the top there
Yep.
if you would like. So just
Yeah.
you could
Where
add
do you
it
want
in
me
the
to
show
put it?
notes. Put it right at the top. Just move it all the way up in our
Okay.
Notion database. Yeah. And then we can open up with that and then go into the things that we need to talk about today. Oh, I need to stretch. I
And
need to
I
like,
talked about Jazzy Bell last week, right? Or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, that's fine.
I don't know. I'm moving my robot, and I'm sad little robot that I can't show you off while I record and do all the things,
Hi.
because my little robot friend is so cute.
So cute. So cute. It's so funny. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I love how it's so low. It is the lowest of the low, and it's looking right up my nose, which is a very attractive
It's your best look, in fact.
It's my best. Yeah, up the nose is
It's where you look the most divine, in my opinion.
the up the nose.
Ridiculous.
Is Jazzy Bell the speaker? Is what Cheryl said. So if we need to,
Oh yeah, Cheryl. She's going to be the opening keynote on Wednesday. She's opening the second day with me. The first day we're doing Jill Smokler. I'm interviewing them both. So if you'd like to do that with
Sweet.
me, Elsie, you're more than welcome to. But
you go, girl.
I do like a good interview.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I think it's better to have like one interviewer
Cheryl. All right.
of the thing.
I guess I agree with that. Yeah, I'll just talk about. Yeah. Do I have their session? I don't have their bio. I don't got nothing. I need the bios to talk about them. Maybe I won't bring them up today. Maybe I'll talk about all the achieve sessions, like how to make money. I think I'll do that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Da 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 da. Oh, what happened?
I don't know.
All right.
All right. Let's open up the recording software for ourselves.
Right. Mine's already ready.
Okay, give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta open it up on the side there, and not yet. I hate it when there's like, as soon as I open the thing, it starts to say you need to update. You need to update it, but I don't want to do that right now. Ooh, I heard that.
What? What do you hear?
Glasses.
Oh
and
yeah,
things.
Scott's unloading the dishwasher. Should I tell him to stop?
No, I mean it's fine. It's good. It's
Hey,
all
babe.
about John.
Will you close the porch door because I can hear you? No, more clanging, but it doesn't matter. I mean, no, don't be sorry. I left it open by accident. All right.
All right. Here we are. You can see the little guy right there.
Here we are, the two of us together.
Are you ready to
All right.
start?
I'm ready. If you're ready. Oh, I have to start it. Yeah, just tell me when to go.
So 3, 2, 1. Press record. All right. Here we are. Recording. Onward we go.
Hello, Elsie.
Hello, Jess.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 399 of She Podcast. You know, right before I said the number 399, I got a little nervous actually. Like for the first time ever since doing this show, I had a little like butterfly in my stomach because it's not particularly a significant I mean, we've never done an episode like what's it called? The thing, the
Commemoration.
See, this is what happens. Yes, we've never done a commemoration episode like where we celebrate a specific milestone is the word I was looking for. Holy
milestone, crap. Yes.
Remember I told you guys that the closer I get to the event, the less common words I can remember. Well, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. That happens to me all day long. Okay, so we don't do really milestone episodes, but yeah, I got a little nervous. Anyway, I'm your host. Let me just keep going. I'm your host, co-host Jessica Kupferman. With me, as always, the super sunshine, Elsie Escobar.
Super sunshine, that's me.
Sunshine, go away today. Just kidding. So yeah, today's 399. We have a bunch of stuff to talk to you. Next week is our 400th episode, and I don't know what to tell you except just put it on your calendar for 1 p.m. Monday on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We'll be doing, we'll, as always, we'll be recording it live, but it is our 400th episode. We'd love to see you there, and we'll be, I don't know, maybe a little reminiscing, or I don't know if we can prepare that far in advance. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, hi.
Hi,
today?
what's going on? We've been futzing around before we started this. We didn't even catch up. We're like, we want to play with the computers, with the cameras, and then we couldn't even make them work. We
I
been
know.
sitting, both of us here, trying to show you off our little robot machines that we have, and
And
didn't
Elsie
happen.
knows why, but she won't admit it.
What do you mean? I know why.
You know why it's happening. But
Oh
you
my
hate
God.
when I
No,
say that.
I hate that because it's just so dumb.
It
Listen,
pisses
if
her
we would
off
be
to no
having,
end that Mercury in retrograde is a thing that she can't control. She hates astrology for this reason. Because if
no,
I
it
tell her
is
the
not
horoscope or
that.
what's happening with the planets, she's like, I don't like that. Because I used to have her read like a business horoscope newsletter, and she told me it stressed her out because it made her feel like she didn't have any control over the outcomes. Do you
Well,
remember
no,
that?
it's not even that. No, it's the fact that it doesn't. It's just like it does not. It's sort of
It
like,
does.
no, it doesn't. It
It
doesn't.
does.
It's
Except it does.
so annoying because here's the thing. All of that stuff is simply it's like guidance, but it's not law. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's not gonna
When it's
happen.
when it's your personality and horoscope, that is guidance. But when Mercury is in retrograde, computer shit just doesn't work as well. Communication things don't work as well. Travel doesn't work.
Communication wells, I would say communication maybe at some point in time. Yeah, but I just feel that there is an element of all of that stuff that is an excuse. And also, it literally is it the chicken or is it the egg? And also,
It
when
is
things
the
are going wrong,
chicken.
what happens when the tech goes wrong and it's not Mercury in retrograde?
You're just a dumbass then.
No, listen, but it happens all the time anyway, is what
To
I'm
who?
saying.
It
Like,
doesn't really. It doesn't
yes,
happen
it
all.
does.
All right, I want I know you're not going to do it, but you journal, okay? So I want you to keep a little dot on every day that tech shit went wrong, and we'll see if it's not more often during a Mercury retrograde. It's between now and the
Okay.
15th.
I wouldn't,
And then
you
I
know
want to
what?
know for the following, because there are some like aftershocks. So like the week before and the week after are a little hairy as well.
It's basically, and then directly opposed. Like, it's literally everything. So there's like a week before, a week after, there's like the thing that could do it. And
They're
then it
only
goes,
3
oh,
times
wait.
a year, Elsie.
Yeah.
They're
And
only
then it
3
would be
times a
like,
year.
the direct opposite could be so that would also be a thing, meaning directly opposite of like the other thing that is directly in opposition, which is essentially taking up the entire year.
That's not true. And the Mercury retrograde's only like 3 times a year. And actually they're usually in different planets. So like this one is Mercury retrograde with something in Taurus. Sometimes it's something in anyway, the point is it's different every time because it's a different season every time. Whatever. I'm not an astrologist. I'm just saying it's a thing. I know it's a thing because it happens to me every time about something. This morning, Scott couldn't get into his email. I couldn't get into a spreadsheet. He couldn't open Hoova. Like he's not a user error kind of dude. So I just think it's
All I'm saying is that you need to do it too, because there's going to be times when there's tech stuff and it's not Mercury and retrograde.
Here's something else to think about, like that is an astrological catalyst. You know how like sometimes you get together with people and you're like, God, this week went by so fast, or this week is going so slow. Like that's also an astrological conundrum. I don't know the exact purpose of that, but people do experience that all together. When time is going super fast or if time is going super slow, that is a function of like the planets. It might be going super fast or super slow. It's still a minute and an hour, but for whatever reason, we're experiencing it differently. Because like, look at the pandemic. What did people say about the pandemic? The time went really fast, but also it was very slow all at the same time. But like you blink and it was May, then you blink and it was August, then you blink and it was October. And yet every day was the same torturous, long, boring ass day. But it went fast. All right, whatever. Look at her face, dude. She's so dubious. All right, whatever. We're moving on to technical things. Okay. Let's talk about we've got some AI tools for you today. We've got some news for you today. I have a tool for you to sign up for at the end that isn't our tool, but it's an amazing tool. So I can't wait to tell you about it. But before we get into all that, let's talk about She Podcast Live, because She Podcast Live today is exactly 7 weeks away. And I just want to take a moment today. I'm going to tell you about all the sessions we have that are about achieving your goals, because I think that is one of the main reasons people come for 2 reasons, or people are fully distracted with 2 main goals: growing and achieving a goal, monetizing, something like that. So first I'm going to talk about all the stuff we're doing that has to do with achieving a goal. Okay. Topic. I guess I should say the what's it called? The speaker as well. So Mariel Diaz is doing sales as an act of service, sacred service. Angel Hartwell is going to do grow a sellable show, the 7 things my buyer was looking for. Danielle Corbett is doing how to find grants to fund your business. Dr. Anise Mabry is doing getting grant funded for social impact podcasting. And actually, Anna Deshawn is doing crowdfunding. Let's get that money. So we got lots of stuff to get funding, which I love. Ronnie Ghosh from Podbean is doing using podcast ads to explode your podcast listenership. And then we also have Claire Pelletreau, which is blow up your downloads with the easiest ads on the planet. And she's a Facebook ads genius. And so is Andrea Vall, but how to effectively grow your podcast with Facebook, Instagram, and Google ads without breaking the bank. Okay. But those are grow ones. So we'll talk more about those next week. Let's go back.
I just want to say, you guys, listen, listening to those names, I don't know if you know, maybe there's some of you who don't know some of the names that Jess just mentioned, because I think that there's a lot of us that are coming into She Podcast Live that may be in the online world, the online space of experts is really huge. It's massive. Yes, so you can't know all the people. No. But I can tell you that each one of those people is phenomenal at the type of knowledge that they have.
Oh yeah, we don't settle for anything less than that.
Their audience and their reach and their level of expertise, particularly if you want to hire any one of these people one-on-one or having them be part of your team, is a lot of money, like a lot of money.
Yeah, it is by actually the best experts. Wait, let me finish my list.
Well, first, let me finish what I was going to say. I was going to make a point, and you're making me not even finish telling people why they need to buy a ticket. Tantrum.
Go ask May to change your diaper and come back.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
I am saying that these folks are worth, for an hour of their time, just one of them, more than the price of the ticket to She Podcast Live. That's what I was going to say. So if you're planning to hire Claire Pelletreau to come work with you for an hour of your time, you're not going to be paying what a ticket to She Podcast is. You're going to be paying a lot more than that. So you want access to the brains of these people. And I'm just mentioning one person. I'm going to
write an email that says that. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I'm not, it's just, saying Claire's name just because I'm saying all of these folks.
Yes, they are.
So they are very expensive.
Yes.
And not because
ticket price very worth it.
Holy shit. I don't think I'm going to be able to finish talking today. Just go ahead and talk, Jess.
No, I'm done. I'm going to mute myself.
No, I'm done too. You go ahead and finish, because I wasn't even able to get the point across that I was trying to make, which is that the price of admission is worth just one of the speakers, just one, let alone all the rest of them. Go ahead, Jess. But goodness gracious, I cannot finish talking. Poor John is going to be like, what is happening here?
I'll just say this lovingly and sweetly. That could have waited till I was done with my list. Okay, now let's go on. Okay, I just want to finish the list because I want people to know who's coming. Okay. Sorry, John. Stacy Sims, get your podcast sponsored. Essential steps for any size show. And she actually does a course on this, and she has had a sold out podcast with downloads that have nothing to do with, I mean, she's a very niche podcast. She's had a sold out podcast for years. Tiffany Kane is doing 5 ways to create metrics for success that have nothing to do with downloads. Bethany Hawkins, how to create a business out of podcasting. She is amazing. And Julia Klein, who was just on our, featured on our show last week with her advice about how to consider when someone's past transgressions should be judged today. So, and her session is on ethical salesmanship, claiming the power that's yours without taking it. And that is it actually for our Achieve sessions right now. I mean, we have other, we have keynotes that are doing stuff on that, but I wanted to just give you an idea on those. Cheryl says, let me just put this on the screen. The connections she made at She Podcast Live are so much stronger and more supportive than any other conference I've been to. And she does get out of the house. She's not a recluse. So she's been to other conferences, just so that's clear. She does leave the house. Okay. No, I hear that all the time. I love hearing that. And I agree. And it's actually, that's the principle that the whole group was found on, is that the connections that I made with the women podcasters at one event 10 years ago was so much stronger and supportive than any other person I spoke to at that conference. And it was wonderful. And actually that first conference, you'll be delighted to know that I met Mignon Fogarty. And she was the most delightful person in the whole world. Grammar girl. She's amazing. Anyway, is she not the most delightful though? For real,
she is absolutely. I'm not laughing at that. It's just that.
What are you laughing at?
I'm just the way that you said it, as if it was a surprise. Like I'm like, Mignon.
I was surprised. It was a surprise. It was 10 years ago, but it was still a big surprise for me. You never know who you're going to get to hang out with. I met Grammar Girl that one year, and then years later, we were at another conference, and we had like a dinner date because like everyone had left but she and I, and we were in Chicago, and we had Chicago food, and then we walked around and went to a candy store, and it was a beautiful night, and the wind was blowing, and it was over a bridge of the river, and if it were a dude, it would have been very romantic, but instead we just had a lovely discussion, and I was so honored. She's like the first network, I think, isn't she? Grammar,
yeah, I believe
30
she is.
tips and tricks. Yeah. Anyway, so just come. It'll be worth it. I'm going to tell you some more about some of the other. Actually, we're going to put up the agenda this week, probably. So if you're listening to this on Friday, you can probably go to shepodcastlive.com, take a look at the agenda, and buy a ticket, please. Thank you very much. Okay, on with the show, yo. First
on
thing
with the
we're
show,
talking
yo.
about is
right.
Is sad, and it's like it's like kind of a bummer. So I brought it up, now we're taking it down. Go ahead, Elsie.
I brought it.
Take it down.
No, because listen, here's the thing, Jessica Kupferman. You were talking about astrology and the farness of the things that are happening over there in the, I don't even know, and how that's influencing our everyday life and having all these things happen. Well, we also have something. I'm sure that you've seen before. Nobody was talking about much AI, anything really, in all honesty. And then probably within, I don't know, late February or so, ChatGPT started to be a conversational piece. And it was like, oh, that's really interesting. It started to pop in and out. And then all of a sudden, everything has AI. Everything has some kind of AI component. The news have been continuing to come out. The development of AI is single-handedly just becoming exponentially developed. And it's the speed in which it's happening that it's extraordinary. So
remember what I told you before the show started?
What did you tell me?
1,000 new AI tools were launched in April alone. In February, I believe that number was 200.
Yeah,
so it is growing way faster than you can even comprehend. In fact, I would venture to say that at least half of all the software as a service things you have now, like for example, Gmail or what was I using that has a new Typeform has AI now. So many different things. I bet you half the things you use now probably have some version of AI. Go ahead, let's talk about this.
Yeah. So the integration of AI in almost all aspects of your life continues to happen. And the development of AI is also happening a lot. So there was this article that dropped at the beginning of the month, because you're listening to this on Friday, from The Verge, but it actually references an article that I have not read because I am not subscribed to the New York Times. So I did not read the original article, but The Verge did cover this. The title of the article is "Godfather of AI Quits Google with Regrets and Fears About His Life Work." And that is talking about AI. So the reason that he quit is essentially so that he could speak up about AI without hurting the company, right? Because sometimes when you start to talk about a very specific type of technical whatevs that's happening in your industry, if you're working in a company that is in development for said product, it could be detrimental to the company that you're trying to work for because they are developing stuff, right? So you can't just like start bashing on the thing if your company is kind of doing that from how would I say it? Like, yeah, from a place of no affinity to any specific model. And I think the thing that really struck me the most from this is the fact that the last article, he says, quote, "The idea that this stuff could actually get smarter than people, a few people believe that."
I mean, it's already smarter than people. Come on. It's already
But most
smarter.
people thought it was way off. And I thought it was way off. I thought it was 30 to 50 years or even longer away. Obviously, I no longer think that. And that is why he,
30
started
to
to speak
50
about
years.
it. That's what he thought, but
Wow.
now it's not that. And I actually watched a YouTube video that Randy actually sent me, and he said that it was essential. It was essential for everybody to watch. It was essential education as it pertained to AI, and I think that I was absolutely blown away by it. And yes, I actually agree with him as well. I did watch it. And I have the transcription of it saved to my notes because I want to refer to it as much as I possibly can. I'm going to see if I can put it in here. This is the video. I'm putting it in the chat, people, just so that you guys can check out what I'm talking about here. And it is called the discussion is called The AI Dilemma. It was published on March 9th, 2023. It is from the folks that also did The Social Dilemma. I think you guys remember that. We talked about that documentary a while ago. And so they really tackle the AI dilemma. And in this presentation, they show the massive growth of AI and the speed in which it is growing and how it is concerning because our own cognitive understanding of what's happening because of our brain, you don't understand it because nothing has ever happened in the world that has developed this fast. So even if you're seeing it and we're saying this, there's still a complete disconnect as to the reality of what is actually happening in the way that it's being developed. I would really suggest that if you have the opportunity for you to watch this almost hour, and it's an hour and 7 minutes long, check it out.
Dang.
Get the transcriptions to this thing. And they're really chill. They're very mellow. Like they're not, like crazy people like that. But they do show you why it is important for you to pay attention, particularly to the AI conversations and the things that you got to pay attention to. So those are some things that I thought I'd share. I am more concerned about that, Jess, than Mercury in retrograde. Let's put it that way. I think that is hitting home.
Both are a problem
in a different way.
They're both a problem.
I mean that there's one thing that's like, out away, like not in the world. And then there's this thing that we are having our hands on to develop in crazy ways. So anyway,
True. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
that is correct. Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So do we want to talk about The Verge or no?
We just talked about The Verge. So now we are going to talk about the podcast, YouTube music.
I just thought his tweet was interesting that he said,
Oh,
in the New York Times, it says, I left Google so that I could criticize Google. Actually, I left so that I could talk about the dangers of AI without considering how this impacts Google. Google has acted
right.
very responsibly, which I think is cool.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And
Smarter than people. Yeah, we did talk. All right. Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. It might be just getting worse, Elsie. Like
Should
I've
we continue
honestly,
to record the podcast?
I'm not sure. I like my husband has also been getting dumber, and I thought, is our heat accidentally pumping like carbon monoxide into our air? Like, how are we just getting dumber and dumber by the day? And it's not that I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know. I thought you were speaking generally for some of that. That's all. Never mind. I'm sorry. It's just going to get worse as the event continues. It's just going to get worse. That's just all I can say is
it's
yeah,
concerning
we can.
because you have meetings with people and you have to talk to people
That's
about
why I record.
specifics
I
and
have
things.
I have a note taker called read.ai, as you know, that will record it so that I can go back and read the transcription so I don't forget anything. I know it's that bad.
No, well, so do I, but there's a difference between that's what I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
I know.
you communicating with
know.
other people about stuff.
Don't you remember you probably don't remember, but the first year when I did it in Atlanta, like I didn't know what was happening. I couldn't even remember like common people's name, like people who I talk to every day. Like it was bad. And now I'm just older, so I'm just dumber in general. We'll see how it goes. I try to keep my brain active, but you never know. All right, moving on. So do you want to talk about YouTube?
Yes, there's a little bit of news about YouTube that now in YouTube Music there are podcasts. Now, to be clear, I tried to find YouTube. I mean, I downloaded YouTube Music so that I could see the podcasts, and I don't know where they are. Like I went on all the screens, I was like flipping through the stuff on my phone, and I couldn't find them. So I believe
there was a
YouTube
thing called YouTube. I don't even know there was a thing.
That's because it was just released, Jess, and it was announced. It was announced
like
about
Spotify,
a month or so before.
I see it looks like Spotify, almost exactly different font, but otherwise almost the same. Okay.
So
That's
YouTube
not
Music
confusing.
it has been around for a little bit, a while, but what?
Smokey Robinson has a new album called Gasms.
Oh.
Isn't he like 90?
Yeah, that's why I think he was just on American Idol. I couldn't figure out why
now
he
you
was
know
singing
why.
in American. Now I know he released an album.
I gotta know how old that dude is. That's just sorry to get off track, but just give me a second here. That guy is singing about gasms. He's 83. Pulled
and
to
he
the
was
nines.
on stage. He was on stage. Too. I know.
His face is 50. Because that man has no.
Well, that's because
wrinkles.
he's got some work. He's got some work done, Jess.
So much work done, dude. So much. All right. Anyway, okay. Moving on. Sorry. Go back to YouTube Music and this
YouTube Music, folks. Supposedly now there are podcasts in the YouTube Music. I went and I looked and I could not find a section that said podcasts. It says that it's only available in the US at this moment. But when I opened YouTube Music on my phone, I did not find the podcast section that said, hey, it could be my podcast app. Mind you, I do have my music app there. They are updated periodically. Maybe I will see this section. I did not see it myself. But there are some confusing things around that, I believe, at least from my perspective, where the delineation between what a podcast is even more convoluted on YouTube Music, because in YouTube itself, right? In YouTube, it's like youtube.com. There is a tab now that is called podcasts. It just pops up. And if you create a playlist, I think that this is how they're figuring it out. If you create a playlist and it has podcasts or podcast on the title of the playlist, it treats it like a podcast, and it is then sent over to the podcast section in YouTube Music. That doesn't mean, though, that it's an actual podcast, because like in the Libsyn YouTube channel, we cover podcasting and we use the word podcast, like how to, have ads in your podcast. Like that's like, we have that as a playlist, like monetization for podcasts, right?
Yeah.
It's a playlist. And so now that is added to the podcast tab as a podcast, but it's not a podcast. It's a playlist in YouTube that is talking about monetization, right? So it's very confusing, because then it has all of these other things happening. The point being that now YouTube Music has podcasts. Okay.
The end.
The end.
Okay, moving on. Okay, now The Verge or Dropbox?
Why don't we play, like, let's talk some tools. Let's
Sweet.
Let's talk some tools. Let's do it.
Elsie's
Okay. So did you know, Jessica, that Dropbox has transcription?
No, because why would they need? I also no, but I do know that they have their own version of like Google Docs. So now nothing surprises me with Dropbox. Like, why are they trying to be everything?
I heard that about that, right? And I was like, but I was in the same boat as you, which was why?
It don't make no sense. Yeah.
Why? Right? So, okay. I can't even imagine starting to collaborate on a doc and then being like, here, Jess, let's edit this doc on Dropbox. Like, it just seems so bizarro to me. So, but the other day, I've been actually trying to optimize data and seeing which videos, because now I've been creating so much more video all the time that I've been wanting to see where I put it, because I don't want it local onto my computer because I don't have enough space, blah, 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 blah. So I decided, okay, I'm going to see if I can start using Dropbox a little more. So I have a folder up there where I'm putting my production video, my personal production video, and I'll just put it up there. So the other day I went into that production video and I wanted to out the video, like I wanted to kind of like take a look at it really quickly to remind myself what that video was. And when I went in there, on the right-hand side, there was a transcription. What happened? You look so scared.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay. So I went in there
about this though.
Okay. So I went and I looked at the video, and then I went to the right-hand side and it said transcription. And I was like, transcription? What does that mean? And so I just tapped on it, and boom, it literally transcribed my entire video. And I was like, whoa, that was really helpful. And then you can just tap through to the time codes and it moves to that part in the video, which awesome. So now, like, if you happen to be paying for Dropbox, because I just pay for the yearly thing for it. And I guess it comes with it. I don't know. And so you can copy the whole transcription. You can export the transcription out, is what I'm saying. So if you don't have a transcription service somewhere else, Dropbox has it. Who knew?
I'm going to one up you on this service right now.
Okay. All right.
Ready?
On Dropbox?
No.
Oh.
So when we started talking about Dropbox, I thought, so I pay a lot more for Searchy.ai. Searchy.io. And I pay for it more because, yes, you can upload all the video and audio you want, and it does a transcription, but then it will give you the opportunity to create a widget, and then you can embed a widget that will search all your content. So, for example, we have a membership. We put everything in Searchy, and now they can type into the box, tell me what you know about sponsorship, and then everything we've ever said about it will come up from the transcriptions, and you can go right to the piece of information you need. But there's more.
Oh
Now,
no.
Searchy has implemented something called Searchy AI, which will generate suggestions for your content. So, like, you upload your content and then it tells you which parts are the most important. Pull them out so that you can use them, those clips and snippets for like social media. And just let me let that sink in for just a second because that's important, right? So you upload the content and then it tells you this part, this part, this part, this part. Here you go. You do what you need to do with it, right? But then it has a new thing called wisdomai.com. Ready?
Oh.
Basically, it will take all the information that you've uploaded. It says upload your YouTube, your podcast, your Facebook, and more. It learns all the information you teach it, and then other people can ask it questions and it will answer as you.
Where did I
So we
read
can,
this? Oh
what?
my
Did you read
gosh.
that?
Yes, but I didn't know it was through Searchy. Is it through Searchy?
It's called Yes, it's a Searchy. Yes. It says powered by Searchy. So yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I already pay too much for Searchy and now it looks like this is going to cost more. Like I'll just be totally transparent with what I charge for it. Let me go to my settings here and I'll tell you the price that I pay. Where is it? Subscription, okay? Okay, I pay $83 a month annually. So, what is that? Like around 1,000 a year, okay? Well, I don't even see where it says wisdom.
It's a chat
It's
bot,
a
honey. Like,
separate
'cause I
thing.
remember, I
I
think
think
that
it's a
what
separate thing.
there's something because I have heard about Wisdom IO, which is like one of the I know. I was watching YouTube videos about AI and Wisdom came up. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I was searching for, but it's a chat bot.
Yeah, I'm going to
So it's
show
a
you. There's a
chat.
demo.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like, but what about if it's like, okay, so how would it handle like the show that we're doing right now, which is
I'm
you
gonna,
and I? And
let
does
me.
it
I'll show
say,
you. Okay, I'm going to present. Share my screen. Okay, we're going to Wisdom right now. So here's the website. Now it says here, let's demo. Here's some of your favorite mentors. Okay. And it's got like Gabby Bernstein, Amy Porterfield, Danielle Laporte, Brooke
yeah.
Castillo, Jenna Kutcher. All right. So let's choose
But
Amy
what,
Porterfield just because it's
but you
easy.
didn't answer my question. There's two of us on the show. They all have solo shows.
I don't think that matters. I think it's not going to talk to you. Watch. So
It's
like,
not
okay,
about talking, but if somebody says like, give me the wisdom, the Elsie's wisdom about X versus Jessica's.
it would be more like Ask She Podcasts this. So like,
Okay.
because like if you think about it, sorry, I'm going to stop sharing. If you think about it, like the real use that I see for this, wait, what happened? Why are we so short?
Because you
There
took
we
the
go.
screen off.
All right, sorry. Okay. So the reason I think it's interesting is like I have 2 years worth of recordings and webinars, not just from us, but from other people, right?
Okay.
Courses that we've
Yeah.
created, yes, but also all that information that's come through from 2 years worth of events. So
Okay.
I could have like a master database of all that information, but it couldn't just be Ask Jess, right? It would have to be Ask She Podcasts or
Correct.
ask the smarty pants or something like that. Like, yeah, it would be, or if you just wanted to be our show and just a search of our show, it would be Ask Elsie and Jess, right? Because how else could
Right.
you do it if it's two of you?
Correct.
But you can also take everything you've done on your own and do your own Ask Elsie, do your own Ask, you know what I mean? Like there's stuff that, you can't separate it out. Like, can I only ask Elsie in the chat box? But you could make your own with your own things that you've done. Not everyone, we're probably an anomaly in that we have a co-hosted show. Probably most people don't.
Right.
But still, is that not the most amazing thing you've ever heard? Is it just me? Like, what? right?
It's very cool to be able to do that. I mean, that's something that I've been wanting to do a lot for the feed, in all honesty. Not to say that we're not smart. But
Great.
it's just because for the feed, a lot of the time we get so many questions that are often going like, how do you do X, Y, and Z? And we've covered it on the show over and
Many
over and
times.
over. Like,
Mhm.
and we have data going on in there. We have like lips and walkthroughs going on in there. We've talked about very specific monetization models. We've had lots of Q&A that Rob has gone into the weeds answering, right? The kind of stuff that it's not a screenshot kind of a thing, but it's very nuanced. And if I always have wanted to have the ability, not necessarily for us, but for the audience to find it. And
Right.
I've been wanting to find a tool for that. So it would be essentially like when somebody mentions a piece of, news or information, for me to be able to go like, we covered this on the feed on, May, whatever, 2011, and be able to prove it and be able to go, here's the time code, here's what we said.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want. So, anywho,
I mean, does it do articles too? Because that would
I
be
don't know.
super helpful if like I could upload a book, or is it just, I
Right.
mean, for Searchy, I'm assuming it looks like it is just audio or video. But I want to find the AI, and I'm not saying it's not out there. I'm saying I just haven't found it yet. I want to find the AI where I can upload all the articles I've written or all the emails I've written so that it can write stuff in my voice. Like I can add one
Right.
or two samples, but I want it to have all of it. Everything I've written for the last 10 years, every funny joke, every speech, every story. I want all of it in there.
Yeah.
I think it would be great. I mean, talk about having a second brain, right?
That would be amazing.
This way, when I die, you could just make another one of me and still talk to me. I can
It
still
would be
co-host the show even
amazing.
when I'm dead because it'll know everything that I know and say and do everything. Imagine if we just pulled the feed in from our show, it would know everything about us. It would know what happened after I had the baby. It would know everything about
It would know everything. You could be able to reference back. We did this
you
at this
breaking
time.
down with the van. It would know about, everything.
All the things like when it was that we covered this for the first time, when it was that we said this that one time, that it would be unbelievable. It would be so fun to be able to reference back in real time. Can you imagine that you would be like, wait, when was it that we talked about?
Yes.
Listen
Listen to
I mean?
this. You can hook up Zoom to Searchy. So, like, remember, I just told you I was getting dumber. If you install the Zoom plugin, that means that I could create a bot where I could just be like, what did we say about keynotes? And then
Right.
everything from every meeting with every person for the last year would say, here's what we said about keynotes. And I could either look for what I said, what Melissa said, whatever. It's amazing.
Yeah. That
Right, my
would
voice just
be
got really high, but it's amazing.
um
It's
well,
amazing. Yeah,
it
sorry.
would be so good. And you can I
Right, so
actually
Dropbox,
just
Searchy, those are your 2 starting points for this conversation, but we're not done yet, folks.
we are not done yet.
We
It
have a few
is
more tools to tell you about. Oh, bye, Cheryl. Have a great day.
yeah, it
Love you,
looks
mean it.
so good. And so that's what it is. It's like being able to look at all this stuff. And as of now, I have, wow. So I just set it up
Great.
for the
Mhm.
feed and
Mhm.
I connected Apple Podcasts.
Okay.
And when I connected Apple Podcasts, I put in the feed, the podcast.
Yep.
And when you add it in there, it creates a little folder and then it gives you the option to import all of the episodes like in a thing. You just have to like tap it, I guess, to import the stuff. And I'll see what happens after you do that. I mean, since I guess it says showing 251 files, will it let me? Because my trial supposedly is going to end in 7 days. To see if it like, I don't even know. I don't know if it's going to let me transcode all of the things. Because if it
Why
lets
not?
me do all of them while it's doing it,
I mean, it pulled in everything from Vimeo we ever had, and that includes our courses. It includes 1 year's worth of webinars from She Podcast Live, everything, all our podcasts, everything. If you just yank it on in, it's amazing.
Yank it all in, yank it all in.
You give it a connection, and it goes with or without you. It's great.
That is crazy. And it also, here's when the fun part about that is that you don't have to do it. You know how when you're testing things out or you're moving from one place to the other, usually you have to like download the thing and upload the thing. There's always this like data transfer business happening. With this, you don't even need that. It literally is doing it for you.
Yep. It's
like,
crazy.
That is kind of a little bit unstandable.
I'm
but
getting
anyway,
all excited. I got to calm down here, man. I'm getting excited.
It is amazing. All right. So, I like how there's some very dedicated folks that have been listening and consuming She Podcast for so long that they already know about the babies and the baby goats and all of the things that we've talked about in the past. Okay. So we have another tool that I wanted to chat with you all about. And this one is drafts, which is, we remember how we talked about, we were going to doing AI stuff and we're going to do iOS stuff. And so the first tool that I'm bringing to you all is a little app that I've actually had since its inception a while ago. It is called Drafts. It is actually free. It's a freemium type model, but for most folks, the free will suffice just fine. And it is a very simple, like the reason that Drafts was created was for handling text. And it was meant because sometimes there's a lot of friction when you open up an app and you are inputting that information into where it belongs. Like, let's say you want to create a reminder for yourself, and opening up the reminders app, sometimes it's a little bit harder because you have to tap in a lot more different places. Like you have to pick the list or you have to add the date. Like there's just a little bit of extra friction to be able to do that. Let's say you are writing an email, and in writing an email, you open up the email app, you have to open up a new email to write, you have to pick there's all of these extra little steps that you have to do when you are on a device that sometimes take a little bit longer for you to get it done. And you really just sometimes want to write. Like if you have it if I have an email in my own head and I go, I just want to start writing to Jess. I need to write this email to Jess. But when I open up the email, I have to choose her email address, make sure that there's a subject, make sure that it's in the right, there's too many steps. And so what Drafts does is it creates the opportunity for you to write the text first. And then you can do whatever you want with that action. It's kind of like an inbox to just put the text down. I write my Instagram captions on that. I use it to copy and paste stuff from one computer to when I'm processing things into the phone. I write text messages in there first. Usually if I don't have time, because again, when you open up the text app, you have to pick who you're going to send it to. Sometimes it's left in draft, and I always put it in drafts first because it's so easy to use the stuff. But the magic of this is that the developer for Drafts, which by the way is one guy, has expanded the capacity of what this app does I literally use it for about 1% of what it can do, because there are automations that are involved in this stuff. Like there's so much stuff. One thing that I just started using that literally blew my mind is that I can, with one tap, open up into an existing reminders list with all of it filled out. So this is how I do my grocery list, because I know that there's grocery apps out there. I know all that stuff. I've tried them all. None of them work because they're so heavy. They're just so heavy. So
Okay.
whenever I'm making my list, what I do is I open up drafts and I literally just write it. I write like milk, cookies, chips, meat, butter, all just in a line, not in a line together, but milk, return, cookies, return,
Mhm.
whatever. And I just make a list, no lines, like no bullet points, nothing. Just make the list.
Just
And then
words all in a row, you're saying.
just words in a row. Words in a row.
All right.
That's it.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then when I'm ready for me to be able to put it into the reminder section, what I do is at the top of that list, I'll put £, right?
Mhm,
Space,
mhm,
groceries. So the pound side delineates that it's the title. The
mhm.
space just gives it the formatting, and then groceries. So whatever the name of your list in reminders is, whatever that is. So for me, it says groceries. And then
Okay.
there is a little tap button on the screen that just says, you literally tap it and it says add to existing reminders list. And then you tap that little sucker and it automatically sends it over to reminders. Beautifully, it's all in there. Like it takes 2 seconds every single time. And that way, when I'm shopping, I open reminders and it's just already
Right
there.
there.
Like I don't have to input the stuff in there and I can, check things off and it behaves like a reminders list behaves. It has
Mm.
been
It also
life-changing.
it hooks up to Apple Watch, it says.
Yes, it does. You can, but I
It's an extension.
love this app so much because again, you can copy and paste text all the time. So that's how I format a lot of like whenever you get a super long text from me, Jess, sometimes I've written it in drafts because drafts is so much easier for me to be able to do it. And also,
there's no
sorry.
accidental sending either. Go ahead.
There's no accidental sending. And the other thing that I do with this all the time is that it is so fast syncing from device to device. So let's say, and the stuff that I've been working on for like Instagram, especially Instagram, because a lot of things you can't do on the computer, right? And I write so much faster on the computer than I do on the thing.
Me too.
And then so the drafts is great because what happens is when you open up drafts, it automatically opens up a new document. Like it's not heavy set. It's meant to be quick text. It's meant to be like a quick place. So it opens up a new document. I start to write, I close it up, and then I can copy and paste that onto Instagram as I'm moving back and forth. It's so great.
Why is it better than Notes?
Because Notes is so heavy. And this is plain text.
It's slow, you mean? It's slow?
And no, it's a different type of an app. Like it doesn't, I think what I like about it, it's sort of like the way that it's the difference between, this is how I see Notes. Notes to me is like a notebook, right? You have a physical notebook that you open up and you're like writing on your notebook, right? That's Notes. Drafts is like sticky notes. And so you'll quickly scribble on the sticky note and put it away. And then like sometimes you'll throw that sticky, it doesn't matter. Like you're not writing things that you're going to be so precious about. It's about moving it to the next place. So sometimes you'll write something on a sticky note, put it on top of your computer. So you're like, oh yeah, I have to take this reminder. I need to start a project. I need to make a list. I need to whatever. You transfer that knowledge from the sticky note to some other thing. It might make it into your notebook at that time.
What if you don't remember to? All right.
Don't remember what?
I worry that it would be a lot of jumbled nonsense for me that I would forget to put it where I would. In other words, like when I make notes and lists, I always do it where it ultimately I want it to be. So if I'm making a list in Todoist, it's there. If I want it in Notion, I do it in there. If it's an email, I do it in there. So
for me, like the things like this that I have in here is like, I have a note that I literally put in there yesterday that says last girl ghosted. I know what that is. When I look at that, I'm like, oh yeah, it was a book I wanted to check out from the library. Like I'm going to just erase that thing. Like I don't need to even remember it's there. Like when I open it, it's going to be there because my brain's going to go, wait, where did I write it? Oh yeah, it was in drafts. And then I'll go into drafts. I have lists in there. I have, all the captions that I write for my Instagram stuff are usually in drafts because it's so easy for me to do that. Anytime that I have like something that I see in the world or like in the kitchen, if I'm like, oh, I have to get this brand of coffee, I'll open up drafts and write it in there first because drafts is always with me. It's my little like pocket notebook versus again, like a full on to-do app.
Mhm.
Like that's so like nothing, things that are in drafts don't merit being in a project management system, a to-do app, anything that needs like
I
that
have an
type
app
of
for
an
all that.
enclosure.
I hear you. I think I have an app for everything.
So
I
what do you
think.
mean for everything?
Like you're saying the miscellaneous shit that doesn't go in other places. I'm saying I think I have one for everything that I would possibly.
And
I
that's
don't know. It
great.
seems neat. It seems neat.
I think
I
it like
I worry.
when you understand it in your head of how you will use it, like to me, the reason what I love this, I have 2,253 drafts.
Okay, awesome.
And none of them are important enough to have to be like there's no reason why I need to remember those if that matters. Something has happened to that note and it's now where it belongs kind of a thing. And if it didn't need to be moving to a different place, then it is just here. But it's okay
Right.
because it's all right if I forget it, right? So for my brain, this is where it begins. This is step one, always. And then it gets processed into other places. And if it doesn't get processed, it wasn't important enough in the first place. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So and I think that the key to that is that it's fast. That's the key. It's fast. I don't have to open up something so huge. I know.
That makes
Maybe you're
sense.
not finding as exciting as me. Like
I'm not. I think because I have so many, like I have, like I said, I have Todoist and I have notes and I actually have an app for like funny stuff that I think I've called the gag.
Mhm.
And then for the groceries, I use Alexa. I say, Alexa, put this on the shopping list. And then I use that to transform it into like the grocery app so that it will help me find the things, which aisle and stuff. So like, I can't think of what I would have not that I'm sure many people have a good use for it. I'm making it about me, basically. I can't figure
No,
out
but
what I
that's
would use
okay.
it
And
for.
I think part of it is that you have to, this is why I love apps because
Yeah.
you have to understand how it can work for you and how your brain works. And for
Mhm.
me, when I heard somebody talking about this app, I immediately got it. I was like, it's the app that I've been looking for. And so
Yeah.
it's been part of my life for so long now that I don't even know what I would do without drafts. Like I use it every day.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah. And so there's obviously an app I'm sure that you use every day that I'm like, no. You know, I would never, no. I just won't use that.
Never.
So, anywho, do you have an app? Are you going to touch base on an app that you want? Oh, yeah, you have.
Girl,
You have.
I
Yes,
do.
girl.
It's called
Oh my God.
Looka. Okay, Looka. It is. Why did I thought I put them. Okay, hold on. It's Looka.com. Not .ai. Okay. So go to looka.com. Basically, it asks you a few questions about your brand and then makes you a logo. Like just a logo.
Okay.
So let's see. Let me see if I can go through the process really quick. I'm doing like an onboarding thing. I'm gonna try and get out of here and start over because I was playing with it. Okay, leave. Okay, design your own beautiful brand. Use Looka's AI powered platform to design a logo and build a brand you love. So you enter your company name and you type get started. Then it asks you your industry. So I put podcasting. Continue. Then it says pick some logos you like, and you can just sort of give it an idea of your style. Then it says pick some colors you like. Then it says enter your company name and a slogan. Then you can ask, like, you can look at some symbols, like it'll say audio, headphones, emotion, brain, communication. And then, or it says, I want to pick my own symbols. If you click that, you can just search for whatever you want. And then it will come up with like some prototypes. And then you can just pick one. Hopefully they're good. I
Ah.
think if you're detailed enough, it should be pretty good. I mean, why not? So if you're not a designer, I think it's a cool. I'd love to see what you guys out there create with it. Let's put it that way. It does not seem to cost money, but I could be wrong. Looky.ai. What did I say?
Looky.ai. Luxa is what you said, but then maybe I'm
Looka,
Looka,
Looka. Sorry, Looka.
Looka.
I like Looky better, but maybe it was taken. And then and then I do have a tool for you as well. Okay, so I've been following a lot of, like I said, a lot of LinkedIn people who talk about AI on LinkedIn. And there's this guy, Zain Khan, ZainKahn. If you want to follow him on LinkedIn, he has it says 1,000 plus AI tools were released in April. Here are 100 top AI tools from April to boost your productivity. And then if you like this, join Superhuman. So I actually have the link in the show notes for you to join Superhuman. When you join, you get the 100 for free. Like you'll get it as it's a Notion page, but it's like a freebie.
Oh.
Now the question is this the same freebie as what he's saying? So like, I just want to see. Oh, so he does a different one every month.
Oh.
So yeah. So join it so you can get them all, because I mean, even if you just bookmark them and play with them later, it's so interesting to see all the different things they do. Like, for example, AI intern, Chat GTP powered personal Slack assistant, your travel AI, your first personal travel AI assistant, Flare AI, create branded content like product photos with AI photo generation, Snack Prompt, Chrome extension that helps you write the best prompts for Chat GPT. I mean, it's endless. It goes on and on.
It keeps on going. It keeps on going.
Beautiful AI is stunning presentations. My GPT by Samurai, access to plugins without paying for Chat GPT. I mean, it goes on and on and on. Anyway, if you're interested in this like we are, go ahead and follow that guy. Use our show notes. They're shepodcast.com and get yourself some of the lists, because it's got to happen. You got to, some of this is going to start. This is what happened in podcasting too, is there was like a boom of new companies, and then they all just started buying each other. So hopefully by the next 2 years, there'll be more like 20 and not 2,000, that we're telling you about, but you never know. It's really exciting though.
It is exciting. There's lots of really fun tools. I'm still kind of like a little weirded out. Are
you overwhelmed by it? Oh,
no, I'm weirded out by it. I mean, I think that's what I'm a little more like concerned with, the whoa kind of. Make it stop.
I mean, I'm concerned with the fact that like there are so many visual things out there, and I'm such a visual person, and I can't get AI to make me anything that looks remotely human or realistic. And like, I'm a designer. Like, where am I going wrong? Like, what's happening? Like, every time I try to get any art happening, it looks ridiculous and insane.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
There's something, I'm sure, that it's like, in terms of that, I don't think that it's doing. Mind you, though, the weird part though is not the weird, the oh my gosh part is when you watch that video that I shared earlier, it shows you that there's some AI out there that is now able to tap into the way that your brain is firing off things, right? So if you're looking at something, it is coding, or it's like noting what your brain is looking at, and then it's taking that and creating what it sees, what you're seeing, and it makes a picture. And it's crazy how fast that thing is happening, to the point that this is the part that blew my mind, that there will probably and should start being legislation as to make sure that the privacy of your thoughts is yours.
Yeah. I mean, one would hope, but we don't have a lot of that right now anyway, do we?
What do you mean?
I mean, like, we put our
laws.
thoughts everywhere where people can see them. That's all. That's all I mean.
What? Wait, I missed
You're
what you said.
saying we need legislation so that our thoughts can be preserved as private. And
Yes.
I'm saying we don't have a lot of that right now. I mean, I just was thinking about this the other day, how mad people get that Alexa is always listening to what you have to say. But if you think about that. It can't answer you if it can't hear its own name. It has to listen to answer you
No,
and
I
give you what.
know, but
So
that's
like,
not.
but I'm saying it's gonna listen. Stuff that you want to talk to has to listen to you, right? But it means that we don't really have a lot of privacy about our own thoughts. The more we chat with a bot, or I've put all my thoughts that have come out of my head that mean everything or nothing since 2008. They're online.
But
So
not
like,
the things you're actually thinking, though, Jess.
how would it know that?
That's what I'm saying. Like they're designing things like that where you could, let's say, go and maybe you get, I don't know, the police brings you in and you literally will sit there and there's going to be a device that's going to be attached to your head and you're not going to say anything, but it's going to get whatever you're thinking and make
No,
it reasonable. What do you mean? No, this is what's
no,
happening.
that's not happening.
Okay.
Are you saying it's literally happening right now, or that it's going
It's
to happen?
literally in development right now.
Why would anyone want that? People are like disgusting perverts. Why would
Dude,
we want it
no,
to read our minds?
that's because that's where we're going with the AI stuff. That's why it's so
Why? Why
concerning.
does it have to go there though? Like, that doesn't
Well, it
sound
is because sometimes it
what?
can be helpful to, like, let's say somebody who is suffering from depression or
Okay.
anxiety, and it can be, that AI could actually help to see the way the brain is thinking and reteach it so that it doesn't
Okay.
have those. Okay, so do you
That's a
see the
good
tool?
function.
Okay,
Yes.
it's being developed for this positive experience to
I
be
like
able to
that.
be helpful. Okay, all right. The tool exists. What makes it that somebody can't steal that or recreate that and use it for the exact opposite reasons, which could
Yeah.
actually be, how can it cause harm? How can it create people's like brain loops to behave a certain way? So that's where the
Yeah, I don't
concern
like
lies.
that. Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't,
yeah. But
that's
we
what I'm
don't
saying. Oh
I
my
hear
gosh,
you,
you're
but also
frozen.
me?
Go ahead. Now you're not frozen.
We
But
we know so little about the brain. I think it would be helpful. I don't want to, of course, you don't want any of us to use our powers for evil instead of good. So of course there do have to be laws around that. But like, think of all the things we don't know about our brain. Like, we know so little about, just take ADHD for example. Like, we've noticed some comorbidities, OCD, rejection sensitivity, um depression, anxiety, but like, we don't know why. We don't know if it's common amongst certain people. Are men the ones that get the OCD and women the ones that get the, anxiety? Like, we don't know anything about that, just that one thing. Borderline personality. They think it's from this. They have no idea how to cure it. No, all they do is try medicine to cure one symptom at a time. Same with ADHD, really. Oh, you can't sleep? Here's a pill for that. Oh, something, you're twitching? Here's a pill for that. Oh, you're too sleepy? Here's a pill for that. They never treat, like, we don't know shit about our brains, is my point. We don't know anything about our brains. I don't want to hate that tool, but I don't want anyone to pretend to be me or try and control my mind. So there's that.
right. I understand what you're saying about that, but I'm not talking about how incredible and how necessary it is for us to do more experimentation or to find, test studies on our brains. That's obviously, we need some of that stuff.
I mean, we need
What
to
I'm
see it.
concerned about is how fast this is being developed without having the conversations of setting guardrails around the development of these tools, and the fact that this dude that we started this podcast with has literally quit his job. He was one of the people who started the tool, recognizing that at this point in time, it is by far much more important for him to start talking about the possible horrible negative things that will happen if this falls in the wrong hands or it's developed faster than having those parameters set. Because at right now, who's winning at this? The people who are developing fast, essentially ship it fast and fail hard. That's what they believe because they want to make the money. So the guardrails are not set, is what I'm saying. We are not even thinking, like right now, you're like, I don't want anybody to think about that and taking control of my brain.
Let me
we
rephrase.
Need to think about it.
I mean, let me rephrase. I think him quitting his job to have these conversations is important. I think it's important to have those conversations. I think I prefer not to have those conversations. I don't want to think about all the shitty things that could possibly happen every time something new comes out. I mean, it's important for me to know how, social media affects my kid or, the metaverse or whatever. But like, I would rather him focus on that and someone else focus on the law and just let me play with the toys and like enjoy the fun shit that it does. I don't want to, I can't worry about every bad thing.
It's not, I think that
I only have so much capacity for words.
I absolutely hear it. I totally hear it. My concern around that is that this is moving at an incredibly fast pace. Again, that is concerning to me. So it's not that I hear all of that. It's like, I understand it. But right now, it is moving so fast that there is going to be a point where you're going to have to look at it head on. And it's interesting how that is essential. That's what I'm saying when you like watch that video. The first thing is that our brains are not willing to see it because we can't understand it, even how fast it's moving. And that's why I keep on having the conversations, because it's for the kids, man. It's like they've just added AI to Snapchat. Facebook just added it to Facebook. And so, and I'm not even, I'm not even talking about the tools. I'm like those tools. I'm talking about regular chatting back and forth with our kids with bots to have them think they're having a connection with humanity, with another thing, and that they don't know the difference.
Yeah.
It's just concerning. There's like a lot of stuff out there that's being developed that is concerning. And so, yeah, I'm excited about the tools too, but I can't not show the opposite is all I'm saying. We probably need to end this soon.
Yeah, let's end it. I'm just saying like, yeah, I'm not saying you can't have these conversations with me. I guess I'm saying I just want to enjoy something one time without having naysayers tell me how fucking terrible it is. Just like one time. Like this is one time where I feel like it could add and enrich our lives so much. And like, yes, of course it could tear it apart because everything can tear it apart. But like, I just want to enjoy all the easiness and quickness and productivity for 5 flipping minutes.
It's
before
amazing.
It gets destroyed. That's all.
It's not going to get destroyed. It might destroy you.
All right. Well, I'd like to let's let this guy talk about it some more, and I'll half listen while I'm making new presentations and logos. Okay, how about that?
Right, hey, perfect. I'm using Searchy right now, trying to find all the things and all the stuff.
I can't wait to put that shit together. It's going to be amazing. All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening today. I so appreciate it. You should get the links from everything we talked about today on shepodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Hoo-Ha. Is there something else I'm missing?
No.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Twitter at She Podcasts. Also go to shepodcastlive.com. Get your tickets to She Podcast Live. Prices are going to go up soon, and go see the agenda and see what you're missing out on. You must be there. Must. What else? Is there anything else? Thank you guys for being with us today. Thank you for being with us live. Thank you for listening. We love you.
Mean it.
Bye. Okay.
Bye.
Now we turn off the recording. Boom. Now we hit save. Boom.